Good morning, everyone. This is Mike from Dimensional Walking. And today I want to talk about an article I had read and I want to make some comments about it. And I think it can possibly get some insight involving maybe the first official alien contact. And I want to use the word official. Okay. So this is an article that I'm going to kind of critique by David Axe. And the name of the article is Will First Contact with ET Spark a War Among Humans? Okay? So, anyways, as you know, I have strong opinions on a lot of things, and I did agree on some things in this article, and I would disagreed highly with other parts of it. So, anyways, let's go through it and see how you feel about it, and you can get my feelings, etc. So, in the movies, basically, we've always, whenever there seems to be the initial contact between humans and aliens, it always seems to end in some battle or something. And of course, that's for the drama and the action of the movies. That's what they want to draw out. They want to draw the interest. So that's how they always kind of put it. It isn't, aliens get along. It's all kumbaya. That's, that wouldn't make a great movie for the most part. Okay. So, anyways, the premise of this was kind of based. This article is based on a kind of a study, and it kind of the study kind of wanted to say that probably the first contact could possibly lead to a war between humans to humans. Okay, and you'll get that as we go on in it. So I'm gonna kind of, I don't want to say page through this, but I will a little bit. So, anyways, there was this groundbreaking study that was 2 years ago, and that actually kind of launched this bit of a debate. And there was two camps. One was very pessimistic and worried about the first contact and what the political consequences would be on Earth. And there was another camp, more optimistic, insists that humanity could meet aliens for the first time and not go crazy over it. Okay? Now, I think I partially agree with that. I don't. I think basically that's true because basically I will always tell you that aliens are among us. So they've been here. They've been probably helping us somewhat, and maybe they've been doing some not so nice things, and from one group to the other, it varies, okay, and what they do for us or against us, etc. But they've been here for a long time. So I don't think there's going to be. I think we've been over the years, and it's intensifying lately. We've been basically learning, and some of us are learning it without even knowing we're learning that these aliens have been among us, and we're not going to flip upside down when all of a sudden it streams across CNN and said aliens have been among us. Okay, it just won't happen. Okay. So, anyways, but there's still this debate, and I think it's a good debate to have because I think we politicians have to prepare themselves for how we're going to possibly react. Okay, and basically there's like a growing consensus that that aliens are out there. There is this consensus, and it's you can see it more this last year or so with hearings, etc. That the aliens are probably among us, or they're at least out there. Okay, I don't think there's a lot of people out there that are going to say absolutely not. We're the only civilization in the universe. Now, a lot of people over my lifetime have said, "Oh, it's the basic math." There's billions and billions of solar systems, and there's billions of planets, and blah 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 blah. I've heard that 1,000 times, and yes, okay, great. Yes, there's all kinds of opportunity out there to be aliens. The reality is, we're among them, etc. As I said before, I don't want to keep on repeating that, but it is very true. It is absolutely true. So, anyways, they always do this math thing, and then people will parrot that back to me, because I say, well, I'm a paranormal investigator, I'm a UFO investigator, I do alien abduction research, and they always oh well, like they're really telling me something. Okay, I always laugh. I sometimes I get indignant basically about that whole basic math thing. So, but yeah, whatever. Makes people feel good, and I'm all good. I'm all in for people feeling good. So these days, it's not controversial that a scientist would believe in aliens, and basically the rest of society is kind of all right with that. They're not, it isn't like we're in the Salem witch trials, and then if you turn out to be a witch, you're going to be burned, right, or drowned, whichever your preference was, I guess. It isn't like that anymore. Now, it may have been like that 30, 40, 50 years ago. I don't think, they get burned or drowned, but they probably lose their jobs or whatever. But I think nowadays, if somebody comes out and says, I believe there's aliens and whatever, in a work type setting, if you're a scientist or something, I think people just maybe smile and say, okay, well, whatever you say, and then they move on. But anyways, back when witches were around and other people didn't believe, like a church against wishes of a religion or something, typically they were whacked. They got whacked. So anyways, so there's several scientists that credibly believe that we have, obviously been, aliens have been observing us, maybe even sort of they've been among us, but but those kind of claims are taken very skeptically by the general society, okay, and for what all the reasons are, but that skepticism is sliding away slowly and faster at the same time, believe it or not. Because I believe, because of my research, talking to scientists and talking to government people, officials, that there is lots and lots of, I'll call them closet people that know. They're in the closet about it. They're not going to come out because they have a fear that they're going to lose their job, etc. But there's plenty of those, and I've talked to hundreds of them in my 50 plus years of doing this. So, and I think it's accelerating. I think there's many, many more of those, and some of them are stepping out of the closet. So, anyways, this kind of study went on, and it was kind of based on findings from a group of scientists and philosophers, etc. Because I think this is kind of the thing that many different disciplines have to come together, and politicians too. And a lot of them really come down to the feeling that we have to be mentally prepared for whatever the outcome is, from a standpoint of how we're going to react to the alien. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. And I think in our lifetime, well, maybe not my lifetime, I'm pretty old, but I mean in probably my kids' lifetime or my grandchildren's lifetime, it's going to happen. It's going to come out and say, hey, aliens have been among us, and it's all right. Everything's cool. We'll survive, and we'll get to know them, and etc. But I think it's the whole thing about it is the bottom line is we have to be mentally prepared that this is going to happen, and we don't need to freak out about it. We really, really don't. Okay. So, anyways, of course, one of the main concerns is that one of the let's just say my little thought about aliens among us didn't exist, and they were coming towards us, right? The aliens are coming in their ships or whatever. I think the concern of the study also was the fact that if one country made contact with aliens and they took all the knowledge and energy and the communication and used it on a negative way against the rest of the world and try to control it, that would be a bad thing. And I agree, that would be a bad thing. That really would be. But I don't think we have to worry about it this time for several reasons. One of the reasons I talk about is that already there's several countries, I don't want to say plenty, but there's several countries in the world that have had technology, have either negotiated or found technology from crash UFOs and used it. And we're probably using some of that technology in our day-to-day lives and have been for maybe 15, 20, maybe 30 years. Some of the countries I know for a fact have had maybe either communication, definitely have their technology, some of their technology, not all of it, obviously, and would be the U.S., Russia, UK, probably China and France, okay? And there could be one or two South American countries. I'm not really too sure which ones, if it's Brazil, Argentina. I'm not sure on those. But I think there's been some. The reason I say that, I know there's been crashes in those countries. And I think their military is on top of it, where they probably would have took those crashed vehicles and kept them somewheres, and who knows. But they've probably gotten some information, which I would call direct information from the government. Now, there's been millions and millions of individuals around the world that have had contact and have gotten some knowledge, not necessary technology knowledge, although I do believe there could have been some people that have gotten knowledge by meditating and making contact with aliens. I think one is Bill Gates. I've written about that in the past also, from some information I received. So anyway, so it looks like for us right now, it looks like the information is out there among several countries. The question always would be now, it's really the Western countries against, I call them the opposites to us, I guess, would be like Russia and China, North Korea. Obviously, if they got some really special type of weapons or something somehow from alien groups, that could be an issue, etc. Now, as I go on, they also talk about, well, let's not worry about that so much. And the reason they don't want to, well, let me back up a minute. One of the other things that came out, and I'll circle back again. One of the things that came out is that one of the ways in which we can contact this study thought was through radio waves, okay, or satellite TV, which I think is absolutely correct from a standpoint that we can all be receivers. We all have computers. We all have, I don't know if we all have satellite TVs, but we got TVs, and most people have radios or some kind of a receiver in their house, whatever it is. And so we can receive these things from aliens. If they wanted to contact us kind of directly, obviously it could flash on a TV screen, or they could send a message via radio. They could do all this, and I think that's very possible. I mean, I had talked to a person years ago that was watching television, and he said that this beam came on the television, and he said he talked in very strange language. He really honestly believed this was not a hoax. This was years and years ago, so if it was today, maybe it was a hoax, but back then it probably wasn't a hoax. And he said he was just blown away. He was profoundly affected by this person or being, whatever it was, communicating with him. But and I heard that, I think, probably over my thing about 3 times. There was people that got something on a radio. There was at least one, this guy I just told you about, and then maybe another one that got something strange on a TV reception. So I think it's very possible, and I think that that's probably the way initially we could have gotten that, that communication. And I think the point was that because of this avenue, this connection, that it is very possible that other countries couldn't take all this knowledge. It was too easy to kind of make this communication with aliens. So, anyways, so then there was a concern, and they kind of left it at the very end of the article. They said, oh well, if one country does get all the secrets and work directly with the aliens, where everything is wonderful. We don't have to worry because a lot of the countries have nuclear deterrence. Okay, well, I guess you haven't really studied the fact that aliens have been messing with our nuclear deterrence for a very long time. They were quite upset, in my estimation, they were quite upset once we dropped the atomic bomb on Japan in the late 40s. And I think that may have brought some of them to us because they saw that tremendous flash from the atomic weapon, and because of that, they ended up coming. And that's why there was an increase in UFO sightings in New Mexico, since New Mexico was a place where all this was tested. And then after that, there was a lot of sightings in and around Japan that I think the aliens recognize that we have done this heinous thing by using an atomic weapon. But since then, I'm sure some of you people out there will know, and I'm telling you no secrets or anything, that the codes from bases in the United States and around the world, the codes to these nuclear weapons have been changed, many times, so we couldn't do anything. And I soundly believe there never will be a nuclear war again, because I don't believe the aliens will allow it. And I've written about this before. I have some pretty extensive information about this on a video or two in our archives. We got over 140 videos now. So anyways, that's pretty much it. I think the little study made some great points, but I think they're here, and I think they're among us, and I think they're not all bad, and I think we should enjoy it, and I don't think we have to freak out about it. We really, really don't. Anyways, that's all I wanted to say about that. And if you like us, please like us. And I wish you would subscribe to us. We need your subscriptions. And other than that, I just want to say goodbye, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.